here. So this is a different kind of video than I have really done in the past. I don't know if this will become a thing or if I should call it a certain something. I want to say it's just my philosophical ramblings. And I swear, if this becomes a thing, I'll buy a smoker's jacket and maybe get a pipe and sit in a dark den with a fire in the background and just share my philosophical musings. I don't know. I've been thinking about something quite a bit lately. Um, I don't really know where to begin with it. One thing I've noticed is I think that for the most part, when I have my once bitten persona on, that I'm a fairly nice guy. Like I try to be um, welcoming. I want people to enjoy the hobby. I don't want to turn them off because of my snarkiness or something like that. But there have been times when that just goes to pot, and I become a real jerk to one or more people. And a lot of times, what instigates that is when people complain. So, like for instance, I remember it just hasn't been a deal lately, but about 3 or 4 years ago, um, people would make comments on videos of my channel complaining about it, like, I really I don't like your channel. I think you should use live video instead of these still shots. I'm like, I don't care. What the hell do I care? Go watch somebody else's channel if you don't like it. There was one guy, I forgot what he complained about, but he complained about something. And I remember my response was, you know what? I will refund every penny you just paid to watch this video. It's free. Shut the hell up. And I find it's kind of funny. It's like, why am I so averse um, to people complaining? Because it's not just about, hey, you didn't pay for it, so deal with it. I mean, I don't know. Um, so I think about it lately because on the Ninth Age forums, the majority of people on there seem to be happy and can have these conversations about armies back and forth and whatever. But there is a very small, very vocal minority of people that are just constantly negative. Or, in fairness to them, I've seen some change, and so they go through a streak of being just really, really negative, and it just kind of gets under my skin. So anyway, I've been thinking about that. So by way of a backstory, um, I've worked on two college campuses, and both of them have the same phenomenon going on. And I don't know if every college campus suffers from this, but in both cases, there was a guy, and currently where I work now, there is a guy that shows up every day to campus. He stands in the main square, the main place where students are milling about doing their thing. He holds a Bible in one hand and he preaches and just kind of he's yelling so he can be heard. He's just yelling across the square. Now, at my previous college campus, I felt it was out of control because the guy there was just an absolute ass. He would actually I've had students come into class all incensed because it was a girl, and he said that she was dressed like a whore. I'm like, oh, wow. Um, but even the one here, I mean, he's just kind of saying his thing. It just gets under my skin because I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. It's every damn day you're here. Neither me nor anybody else here, I guess I would say neither I nor anybody else here, we can't enjoy the day. We can't enjoy what's going on right here because you feel the need to stand here and yell out stuff, your religious beliefs and how you think we should live and whatever. I'm like, I don't give a shit. What? It's, so on one hand, the campus has to let them do it, I guess, because, freedom of speech. Do we really want to say that you can't say stuff like that on college campuses? Because that's college campuses a lot of times where protests start because you have the freedom to explore ideas. And I know I'm biased on that because I actually like people standing up and questioning stuff in that venue. But the guy that comes every day to campus, I'm just like, God, shut up! I'm done. I do not want to hear you yelling. He ruins the atmosphere of the campus for me and for a lot of students, and it bugs me. And I know that he has a reason for it, but it still bugs me. And um, and I think I wonder if part of what the problem is in this guy's mind, he's thinking, whether or not I'm ruining your day is of no significance because there's something bigger and more important, right? I mean, he feels that there's God's going to come down and condemn us for being evil, or if nothing else, at the end of life, there's a heaven and a hell and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, there's a trade-off, isn't there? Because there's this hoped for or expected future state, and then there's the current right now. And so what you're saying is, I'm going to do something that you perceive as negative in the current right now, because I think there's a future state that's more important. And I think once I thought about it in that way, I'm like, it's kind of the same way like on the Ninth Age forums when people are just go through phases where they're complaining so much. It's like in their mind, this idealized future state is we'll get to a point in the game where everything will be just the way that person wants. Every unit will be equally priced, and every army will be perfectly balanced. And nobody is so naive as to think that's possible. So presumably in this person's mind, it will be perfectly balanced as they would have it. And everything will be as they want it. And until that ideal future state happens, they're just going to kind of ruin the day of everybody now. So I don't mean people providing feedback, and I don't mind people coming in and complaining about something, saying, "Hey, I don't think this is priced appropriately." I mean the constant negativity, where every post is just negative, 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 and especially when they have this one or two things, whatever it is that's their pet peeve, and they just harp on it and harp on it and harp on it. And if you want to see Once Bitten get snarky, go read my posts to people like that, because I just kind of snap sometimes, and I feel like saying, just shut up, because what you're doing is you're just kind of ruining the culture, the environment that we have. Because part of the Ninth Age, the forums, is to elicit and get feedback, but a lot of it is just to have a community where we can go and talk about this stuff. There's nobody in my neighborhood, there's nobody at work I can go and talk to about the Ninth Age. There's a small crowd of players, but the Ninth Age forums is where there's a large crowd of players that I can go and I can talk about this hobby that I love so much. And yeah, I can just ignore those posts. I don't have to read them in detail. A lot of times when I see who posted, I just move right along. But it's like, you're taking this shared environment that we have, and you're just kind of shitting in it. You're yelling. You're the preacher yelling on campus. This isn't the way I want it to be. Like, stop. So anyway, I think it really bugs me. And there are times when I've gone back and apologized to people for snapping at them like that, because, I don't know. I feel bad about it sometimes, but I do get tired of it. So I had some interesting conversations today, because in my snarkiness, I was making comments like, the only reason I got involved at all was because the Beast Herds army did not have enough people. There was one person on it, and they desperately needed at least two. They wanted to have three. And so, a friend approached me and said, "Hey, come on, man, will you help us out? We really need help in this position." I'm like, "Sure." Now, so it wasn't me going out saying, "Oh, I really want to do this. It pays so well." It was just like, "No, man, I'll help out. That's cool." And I think because I did that, I don't think that means that therefore nobody should ever complain about the rules of the book that I helped to create or whatever. I don't know, but it seems so. I'm going to make an analogy. So it's kind of like, so I have 3 kids, as some of you may know, and I can imagine me making dinner and asking for help, and one of my daughters says yes, so she and I make dinner and we sit down to eat, and then another child saying, "This is awful," or I mean, actually it's okay, but I really don't, why would you have this? Why not this other thing I would have enjoyed more tonight? That kid wouldn't get dinner. That kid would get out of here. Go fend for yourself. Go on the streets. You're not eating my food. In some ways, it feels like that. It's like, there were plenty of opportunities to help, and some people applied for, and some people got turned down, granted, but a lot of people didn't volunteer to help when a lot of help was needed. That's okay. I don't think there's a place for everybody to pitch in, but there were places for it. And when people didn't pitch in to help, I'm like, why do you feel you have the right to just complain endlessly about the work that went on? I mean, we're all volunteers. We're trying our best. There is no Note this, there is no possible way to design things that will make everybody happy. So if you're not happy, that's normal. There's probably very few people that think that every decision made is the right decision. Matter of fact, there's nobody. There's nobody on the rules team. There's nobody on the balance board. There's nobody on any ABC. There is no single person that thinks everything's great. It's all a bunch of negotiation, and then it's a bunch of let's just try this and see if it works, and then we'll tweak it later. That's all it ever is. So if you're unhappy about this particular unit or this army because it's the only army you play and it's not powerful enough, get on board, man. You are just like everybody else. Nobody thinks it's perfect. Shut up about it. How about that? Just deal with it. It's not perfect. Work with what's there. It'll never be perfect. That gives you the opportunity to customize your list, to take advantage of the things that you do think are overpowered right now. And then I noticed that if people complain and then you call them on their complaining and saying, do you really just have to complain the whole time? Oh my gosh. Then they're like, how dare you criticize me for complaining? This is my inalienable right to be able to complain. It's like, well, if you want to go that tack, then if you can complain, I can complain. You're complaining about the rules. I'm complaining about the air of negativity that you bring to this community. Yeah. I think that the important thing to think about is, yes, the goal here is to create a fun and balanced game. It will never be perfectly balanced. Hopefully it's fun. I'm having a blast with it. I think that's why things being under or overpowered don't bother me too much, because nothing's so out of control like I've seen it in previous games in the past. But in addition to creating a fun and balanced game, we're trying to revive, create a community of players worldwide. And in doing that, we're creating the culture that we're going to have together as a group. And so if you bring to it an air of constant negativity, it's not just about you. You are bringing down the group. You are saying, this is my campus square too, and I'm going to sit here and yell because that's what I think. And I think all of us, I'm asking all of us to think about the culture that we create with every single post we make. Every bit of communication you do creates the culture you live in. And I'm trying. I am trying to not be so snarky in my posts. It's tough sometimes. But I think we should coach each other on that and say, it's not just about focusing on the negative and always talking about the negative and what you feel is broken or it's unfair because this other army has something similar but better. I get it. There's so many other ways to interact with each other about this hobby, not least of which is, what if we just took the attitude of, our book is what it is, and the game is what it is, so what can we do about this book that would be effective? That would provide endless discussion in the forums. And it doesn't have to be, oh, this sucks, and it's a conspiracy that the ABC or the rules team has. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. So that's my philosophical ramblings, part one. There may not ever be a part two. So for those of you, if you still watch my channel, and if I've been snarky to you on the forums, I apologize. But yeah, this is a call out to creating a more creating a positive culture for all of us, and not allowing the very small vocal minority to create a negative culture for us. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.